Hi everyone, welcome back to GameMaker Cast. It's Mickey, and in this video we're going to be working on some redefinable keys to allow our user to change their bindings before playing the game. So let's roll the introduction and get right into it. So if you've downloaded the project from the description below, you'll already have everything that we're going to do in this video tutorial. It's not even really a tutorial, more like just a logic and explanation. So let's take a look at how things are set up. Inside the room, we have a room initialize, and that's just responsible for a single object, which is the object initialize. If we take a look at that actual object, you can see here we are setting up some global keys, and normally we would be doing this in our player, but right now we're doing it in this initialize variable. So we need to set up these global keys and just assign some default values. You can see that I left a region in here in case you wanted to load some data once the user has saved their bindings, but right now mine's completely blank. The only thing that happens here is we go to the room main, and inside the room main we're kind of using it as a menu. We have our play button, which just goes to the room game, but then we have two objects here, which is an object redefinable. Now one thing, if we take a look at the object redefinable here, you can see that we do have some variable definitions such as the label and key. So inside the room main, if we double click and we go to variables, you can see I have some things set up as a string for move left on the first one, and then the second one will have a move right, and then it's assigned the right key. Looking closer at that variable, you can see that we have our key here. It is a list, which means that these are just text. If we wanted to add a new one, we could click on the gear and just click on add, and then we could write in whatever arrow or whatever movement that we want, and then that would add it to the list. We still need to add it to the global variables, but I'll leave that up to you. Now, some of the key points to this particular object here, and it's not really too much. Inside the create event, we have a flag that we're going to toggle on and off depending on if the user is waiting for input or not. If the user is waiting for input in the draw GUI, what we're going to do is we're just going to draw an entire black rectangle over top of it, and then we're just going to prompt the user saying that, hey, we are waiting for your input. And then once they press a key, we'll get rid of this particular thing by toggling the waiting for input off. Talking about pressing a key, if we go into the step event here, inside the step event, we need to make sure that we are waiting for that input, and then we'll listen to any keyboard that is pressed. And then once a keyboard key is pressed, we call this update global key. Inside the update global key function, all we're doing is saying if that key variable, which is right here, our variable definitions, is assigned to the left, then we'll assign the left key, otherwise the right key, and you can see how we could do an up and down and as many as we need here. Now, if you wanted to do something with a joypad or whatever, you would also just have to change this to listen to the joypad or gamepad events here. So really, that's all we really need. The final thing is inside the object player. Instead of defining your actual keys, you'll be using those global left and right keys, or up and down depending on what you have. So if I hit F5 and I run my game, we're automatically going to land on that room main, and you can see here if I left click, we're going to toggle that boolean to press any key. Now I could press the Q key and you can see that it automatically gets updated. Now one thing, if I press an arrow key, you can see that we have an up arrow. The reason we have the up arrow is if we go to the define and then we go to the draw, right here we're switching between whatever the display key is, whether it's the number or the arrow, and we're basically saying if we find an arrow, then make sure we use the string version of the arrow, as I don't have those characters in my actual game. So right now I have the left as Q and the right as up arrow, which means that any other letters or any other things that I press are not going to work on the keyboard until I press the letter Q to move to the left and the up arrow to move to the right. If I hit escape, I can reset these as A and D, and then I can use my A and D keys on my keyboard to move left and right. You can see how this is pretty easy to do. We can just use the right and left arrows and no other keys will be working. So with this minimal setup, you can get some redefinable keys. It's just really up to you to make it look pretty. So I hope the explanation was worth the wait, and I'll see you in the next video. A special shout out to the following Patreon users in no particular order: David, Timothy, Ashby, Edward, Thricite, Paul, Robert, Annie, Katako, Mary, and Victor. If you like what you see here and you like the full source code to this and many other tutorials, please check out my Patreon page found in the description below. Once again, thank you everyone for the support.